Welcome back to Hiking with Kathleen. So here we are presenting you with our site at Arrowhead Provincial Park. We are set up here for 3 weeks and we are going to have our adventures ahead for you. Paddling down the Little East River, hiking along the trails here and watching as the gradual colors change on the deciduous trees. Hope you stay. So we brought our kayaks down here. We've got them locked up to the sign. And this way, they're ready and available for us anytime we want to go into Arrowhead Lake for a paddle. We're hoping to do that in a day or two when the temperature warms up to about 22 degrees. Right now it's 8 degrees, which is perfect camping weather, but not inspiring for paddling. Chipmunks spend a lot of time in the fall gathering up food, stuffing their cheek pouches, and bringing the food back to their burrow. This is where they spend the winter, not in a true hibernation, but in a state of torpor, where they wake up, snack, and go back to sleep. So I'm just getting started here on dinner. We've been here at Arrowhead Provincial Park for about 3 days now, but the first 2 days almost don't count because we arrived a couple of days ago. It was raining, and so we've just sort of set up our site. We did that yesterday, completely set up everything where it wasn't a rainy day. Went for a hike this morning, took a little bit of a walkabout just to become familiar again with the trails that I have really enjoyed hiking along in the past. And so I'm just getting a start on our dinner, which is potatoes, and I know you've probably seen this before where I've made steak and salmon. So this afternoon we spent with our friends Rod and Maria, who happen to be camping here during a couple of the same weeks. We're going to be here for 3 weeks. So they're going to be staying here for a couple of weeks. They've also got some other friends that are staying on a site that's nearby them. They're only about 2.5 minutes away. Once you know your way around the park, you can figure out the trails and how they can get you to other areas of the park more quickly than if you're driving around in a vehicle. So we just walked over there. So we had happy hour with them this afternoon, did a little bit of catching up, and then we talk about other upcoming travel plans or camping trips that we have planned for 2024. And so that was a lot of fun. It was always nice to catch up with them, and we're planning to go paddling with them in a couple of days' time. So that'll be a lot of fun. They haven't stayed at Arrowhead Provincial Park, and we're going to bring them out to Arrowhead Lake, and they'll be renting a canoe from the store. We'll be using our kayaks, so yeah, we'll just show them our favorite places and let them decide for themselves where they like to paddle in the future. So. And other things that Shannon and I are planning during our time here is we're going to head over to Algonquin Provincial Park, go into the town of Huntsville. It's only 10 minutes away. That's where we get our supplies. That's where we have our favorite store, which is Algonquin Outfitters. So anyway, we have all those things ahead. We have about 2 3/4 of a week left of this trip. So we are so excited. Just nice to be able to plant our feet, stay in this beautiful setting. We have an amazing site. Great buffer zone. So we've got our dining shelter, which is something that is new to us. We had another dining shelter before that had the shock cord poles. This one here, you just pull out and it's all set up. It's the clam, quick set by clam. I have my duck blind, so I have it facing that buffer zone. And then we have our kitty shelter. So anyway, those are the things that are going on for us. And Shannon is just bringing some more food for me to be able to grill up, which would be my steak and her salmon. Got the mushrooms. I know it seems like we probably always eat this meal. It's just we don't show you the times we're eating just sandwiches. Look at that baby.
Good. The key is Dijon mustard.
Mm-hmm. So I'm in my duck blind on our site, and I've had this set up for probably 3 days. So I've given animals a chance to sort of get familiar with it and get used to it. And I had the screens up. This is how I left it set up from Sleeping Giant when it was very, very buggy. But I'm keeping the screens up right now. It's quite chilly this morning. I mean, we didn't quite have frost, but it was about 1 degree when I got up this morning. And I figure that really knocks the bugs down, which is a real nice thing. And so I'm just sitting here looking at this huge buffer zone between our site and ones that are on another road. And just keeping an eye out in case there's any interesting critters that are wandering around in between the buffer zone. So, and even if there aren't any interesting animals to video, oh my God, the scenery is beautiful, and the way the golden sunlight of dawn is dappling the forest floor. It's amazing being out here and enjoying my coffee at the same time. So I just had a look at Arrowhead Lake this morning, and it's so nice and flat right now. Very little wind down there. And I'm just taking Arrowhead Lake Trail, and I'm making my way over to Stubbs Falls. Haven't seen that yet since we arrived this time, and I'm looking forward to seeing the beauty around there. So in the parking lot that is for Stubbs Falls or anywhere around here, I just ran into a couple that is actually camping very, very close to us, and they were telling me about a great horned owl that they heard a few nights ago. They're actually leaving and heading back to Coburg. So I had a chance to chat with them, and we exchanged all kinds of information. They provided us with some great tips because with them living just east of Toronto, we're looking at exploring that area next summer, so the summer of 2024. So they gave us some really great tips in terms of some parks that are found along that way, especially those with really great hiking trails. And of course, that's the thing that's most interesting to me, as well as bodies of water that don't have boats. So those parks that were on, say, Lake Ontario, not as interesting because boats are, you know, you'll hear that sound from your campsite, and we like to go paddling, so we try to avoid motorboats so that we don't have to deal with the wake. But anyway, they gave me some really great ideas as Shannon and I set out to plan out our next summer's travel experience. I never get tired of seeing that. So we just had a really great look at Stubbs Falls. This is about mid-September right now, so the fall colors are not at their peak, but I mean, we've got another 2.5 weeks that we're camping here in the area, so we'll have a chance to see them as they slowly change and become the brilliant fall colors. So this is the trail. This is the other half of it on the other side of the bridge. And I'll continue on till I get back to the Arrowhead Lake Trail and take that back to the site and meet up with Shannon. We've got food going for dinner time. We had a really nice day. I went on a hike to Stubbs Falls earlier today after sitting out in the duck blind just to see what kind of bird action or mammal action I could get. And then Shannon and I went down to the beach. We brought our audiobooks and I brought my camera, and then I just thought we'll just enjoy the time where you can just sit there. We went at about 3 o'clock, came back here about 5:30, 6 o'clock I guess. And yeah, so we're just getting dinner ready right now. Tonight's dinner consists of turkey, schnitzel, Brussels sprouts, and rice. And so we'll probably be eating in about 20 minutes or so. I'm going to give you a few pointers in terms of how we do things regarding the kitchen setup. So regarding our kitchen routine, we get water from the water tap that's available here at the park. We fill the trailer with water that is at the water fill station. And so this is where we do our dish cleaning is outside, but we always bring our own water from home. So we fill those 5-gallon bottles, we put our own dispenser on the top, and we just fill it from the tap at home. And that way we don't have to worry about, if the water's been tested recently or anything like that. We are bringing water that's basically from the city, so water that's already been treated. So that's the way we like to go about it, and that way we're saving what we call the good water, the water from home, for consuming, whether it's for coffee, whether it's for making meals and things of that nature. So this is what seems to work for us. You're so funny. She is a bit on the excited side, and we only left her alone, about 2.5 hours. But I think she just had herself a really good nap by the looks of things. So this is a bit of a happy hour before we have our dinner. So Shannon put together a really nice fire. So this is something we're able to enjoy tonight. And then dinner, we're just waiting for the rice to finish cooking, and then that's going to be ready for us to eat. But yeah, it's nice to be able to just get out, spend time at the beach, and just sort of relax while, I'm watching for wildlife to fly by, and just to be able to sit back there and kind of be in your own zone. So we enjoyed that today. It was a nice little break. So I'd mentioned earlier that we have friends, Rod and Maria, who are camping here at Arrowhead with us. They're not actually in our vicinity. They're staying with another couple. And so they've been doing some things with their friends. We had a chance to meet them yesterday to kind of figure out some plans of things that we'd like to do together. So tomorrow, they're going to go down and rent a canoe, and we're going to use our kayaks, and we will help them to explore the East River. So that's what our goal is, to get them down to Stubbs Falls and see the beauty up that way. And then, maybe there'll be some other plans that we'll put into place, because their friends are staying for about a week of their 2-week stay. And we don't want to take away from that time. So it'll give them a chance to have their dinners and socialize with their friends. And then we'll spend a little bit more time with them. So you might see them from time to time if we're going to be doing some hiking with them too. So just to let you know, we have something really cool that we're going to be using tonight for the first time. We have a fire stoker or a poker, and this is something that was actually made not in a store, not mass-produced, but it was made by our nephew, Steve. Steve has a blacksmithing channel. I'm going to link it below, and it's called Back to Basics.
Simple Living.
Back to Basics, Simple Living. So I'm going to link it below, and you'll have a chance to see how cool things like this are made by a guy who actually has this passion for blacksmithing. He's made us some other really cool stuff.
A flint, a starter.
Yep. So a flint with a striker. Another thing that is really nice for the bathtub, because he's also into some woodworking, is a tray that goes across the tub with some wrought iron handles. So anyway, he's a really talented person, and I'm proud of him. So I'll show you this up close. I sometimes have a habit of breaking these when they have a wooden handle. I don't know what happens. But anyway, this isn't going to happen to this particular poker. So we're quite happy about this. We know that this one's going to last the rest of our lives. Thanks, Steve. That's good.
That was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. Thank you for cooking.
Well, thanks for all the prep. Yeah. So So we're just heading out on Arrowhead Lake. Shannon's just putting her kayak in, and we're meeting up with our friends Rod and Maria. So we're gonna go for a little paddle. What a gorgeous day. Banner day. So I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick to traveling around the perimeter of Arrowhead Lake. And this is it's really a pretty way of seeing it. So they're getting a really nice introduction to this park. So we just had a chance to see a couple of great blue herons that we scared up. So Rod and Maria are game, and we are going to try this little East River passageway from Arrowhead Lake, and we'll just see how far we can go. I know that it gets narrow in parts, so we'll have a chance to see. And the last time Shannon and I attempted this, we had an inflatable kayak or canoe, and we were afraid to go too far, and that's just because there are active beaver and there'd be sticks. So we had to worry about punctures. So today we don't have to worry about that, and same with Rod and Maria with their rented canoe. It's a hardy canoe. We like this, where you never know what you're going to see. Now we're making enough noise, at least I am, that we're probably scaring away all wildlife. Yeah, you can see you have to do a little ducking as you go through this. And Shannon and I will probably come back and we'll do this later. We don't want to put them through too much. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh my. Now it's open. Once you get through that tight spot, it's open up here.
Okay.
Oh my God, I love this. You passed your first test. Right? It's exciting to come in places like this. Now just have a look back. Is Shannon following still? Okay.
Hi, Shannon.
I'm gonna get you from the room. Where are you?
Yeah, watch out for the water moccasins and alligators. There's a plank from a ship.
just love this.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't go too far because everything was quite tight.
Yeah, you could poke a hole pretty quick.
Oops. So I just wanted you folks to have a chance to do a time check, because we'll have to kind of keep our eye on that.
We don't have to do that.
And what time is it now?
It's 1:30.
It's only 1:30.
Only
Oh.
1:30.
All right, well, you guys want to lead the way?
No, you don't.
Just because if something jumps out, you're okay with me going first?
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably get better videotaping without that. This is so nice.
Yeah.
So nice. It's meditative, isn't it? Yeah, almost. Yeah. Can you imagine in the spring? It's just the most
I can imagine all the black flies. Oops. Yeah, this is a great experience. Wow. And I'm glad these guys are getting such a kick out of it. I know Shannon will be loving this because this is what we'd wanted to do, as I say, a couple years ago, but with an inflatable canoe. You don't want something to pop when you're out here. How are you going to get back? So it's good. We'll keep going. Here come the adventurers.
Circle around.
It just meanders, I think. Yeah. Okay.
If we're going around it, we'll keep going.
Oh my God.
Other side.
See your advantage with the small paddles?
I've just seen that.
Yeah.
It's tricky when you're shooting.
What was that movie with Humphrey Bogart? And it was and we were in the swamp.
They were in the swamp?
And they were pulling the steamboat with the torpedo in the war. And it had gotten out of the control, and he was pulling the boat through the swamp.
Yep.
And of course, he was getting suckers and stuff in his butt. And at the end, they blew up the boat was supposed to sink, but I think he died. You don't remember that one?
No, that's a sad ending though, Rod.
The scenery was similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you guys get to decide how far you want to go because we've also got to go back.
Well, it's all downhill.
Oh, it's downhill.
It's all downhill.
We're good.
The current with us, That was the original beaver dam we just went over. Remember, we could never get by it?
I know.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was in the fall, so water levels were probably comparable. Yep.
All right, yeah.
Right here?
No. There was a beaver dam that was back there that you could just sort of see the sticks. You know, there's parts where you bottom out. So they figured that if I can push myself through this, then it should be doable. Okay. So now we have to hope that they can get through this. Okay, so we're going to catch the action as they try and get through it.
We shouldn't have dared it.
Okay, Ken, we have, you know what, she took a run at it, so
Yeah, take a run.
take a run at it.
The action as they try and get through it.
Look, she's dragging. Did you hear that? She's on
No,
film
I didn't
dragging.
hear, I didn't hear.
Okay.
Put your paddle. I just used my paddle and pushed myself. Use your paddle. That's right, just like Rod, you know, just pushing your paddle into the ground.
Oh, there they go. You got it.
Ready?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, push.
Oh, you're almost there. Good for you.
Push.
Are you
I
ready?
got nothing to push on anymore.
Kayak paddles make it a little extra challenging because they're so long, but that's okay. That wasn't too bad at all.
Well, look at you, show off.
That's the bridge I was at this morning. Isn't that cool? Well, that was quite the adventure. You look tuckered out.
We did it.
Hey, let's go as far as the bridge and we can turn around.
My legs just don't like being.
We've never made it this far, right? To get up to this bridge. Love that. Because then it's a place we can find on the map and say for sure this is as far as we got on the East River. Oh boy. That's a moment to celebrate.
This is going to Mayflower.
I don't know, maybe.
It's all wide now.
Yeah. But I think that's just a tease because at some point it does get wider, but we don't know that this is where that happens. Well, what a great adventure. I'm so glad you guys were really up for that.
Oh, yeah, it was good.
So the waterfalls that Shannon has sort of pointed out up ahead is actually like a beaver dam. So we're not too far from the bridge. So we have some falls ahead, but it's really just water that's coming in over a beaver dam. So it's good though. Shannon's getting some footage of that. And we can hear the waterfall in this camera. Nice. But it shows what an effective beaver dam will do, right? It slows the flow of water to flood an area of land, which makes it possible for them to access food without getting out of the water. They're ingenious. Yeah, it's much faster and much easier coming back. Not that the twists and turns are easy, but the flow is pushing us. So the flow is coming from behind, so that's a good thing. Yeah, we're really happy that Rod and Maria were up for this. They love the adventure of not knowing what's around the next curve. Okay. Should slow down and wait. Make sure everybody's okay. Oops. Okay, it's like bumper cars back here. I'm just waiting for them. I don't think we're too far now from Arrowhead Lake. It was a lot more effort to get down because we were going against the current, and it's been pretty slick coming back. We also knew the trouble spots where we had to really give her. You go ahead. I'm going to get your action shot. Oh, that's a real close-up. So this is nice. Now we're back at the wide open Arrowhead Lake.
Yeah, yeah. I'm riding those half-done beaver tanks. You almost need to have safety goggles.
Or the hat tied well down.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's the best canoeing trip I've ever.
Isn't that great? I'm glad to hear you say that.
That's so good.
It's not as crazy going under the bridge. There's just those two spots that you have to paddle hard.
Right.
But it's shallow,
but it's beautiful because you have
Yeah.
the walk paths on either
You feel like you're in
side.
a canyon.
Yeah.
However, when you're there, you have more people walking along the trails that you can hear, which takes
Right.
away from it a little bit. This one here, you're away from the trail for quite a bit of it until you get to that footbridge area.
Right.
They wouldn't discover.
And then once you stop, suddenly you went flying off. Oh my God.
So Rod and Maria, they have their eye on the time, and they have about a little under 20 minutes to get themselves checked back in with the canoe rental. So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to escort them back to where they drop off the canoe, and then that'll be that. So we didn't tackle the other side where there's kind of like construction, where they're maintaining the trails and stuff like that today. We just thought if they wanted to go in and have a peek, we could do that. But instead what we'll do is we'll just bring them to the canoe rental, and that is the end of their experience. And they're going to be here for another 10 days, so we might take them up there on another day. Anyway, this was a great experience. They are so happy. They went on this adventurous paddle where you need to really have protective eye gear because the twigs were growing right into the water, jutting out from the sides. So anyway, it was a fun experience. I knew Shannon and I would love it, and I'm delighted to know that Rod and Maria also loved it. Thanks for joining us on Hiking with Kathleen. Stay tuned and tune in to next week's episode, where we're going to be taking in some sights at Algonquin Provincial Park, and of course a lot more adventures at Arrowhead. See you then.